So, talking about medicine, longevity research, the pursuit of immortality, um, it's an obvious thought process. You treat the body like an equation, like a physics equation. Um, so, we don't want this to be some kind of Copenhagen interpretation. We don't want things to be random. We want things to be predictable, deterministic to an extent. So we don't want things to be entirely deterministic because we want to have agency, consciousness. We want life to have meaning. Okay, responsibility, love. Okay, so we don't want the conscious aspects of existence to be deterministic. We want to, because then they wouldn't be considered conscious. We want the unconscious stuff in existence to be deterministic. So we would want something more like the pilot wave theory, okay, not the Copenhagen interpretation. And you treat the body like an equation, a physics equation. So you break the body down to its fundamental parts. You find the interactions, what keeps the body alive, what it does within itself, how it interacts with its environment, okay, what it needs, what inputs it needs, okay. So it's an equation with variables, and you break it down. So you are an organism. You have organ systems. There are organs in the organ systems. The organs are made of tissues. You have cells. Your cells have organelles, and that's made of molecules. Molecules are made of atoms. Atoms are made of subatomic particles. Subatomic particles are made of fundamental particles. So now to compute a human body, okay, we don't have the computing power to do that, and we don't have the formula laid out to do that. From what I'm seeing, it may be possible to compute a human body down to the atomic level, if there are advances in computing power, and the amount of time that would take. It's saying here is over 54 years for one body, and we have billions of people. So as far as computing, the interactions within a body, that's what we're looking at. So maybe we can develop, we could group calculations together, you know what I'm saying? So we find out that, we don't have to calculate things on an individual basis, but we can calculate them as a group, you know what I'm saying? Maybe we could group things together so we don't have to do as many calculations and have as many variables and inputs and stuff. Okay, okay, so to put that to scale, I'll just work my way down. So you're an organism. You have 11 organ systems. You have 78 organs. You have 4 types of tissues. You have over 200 types of cells. You have over 30 trillion cells. You have 8 to 15 types of organelles in a cell. This is saying there are 10 trillion molecules in a cell. So this is saying 100 trillion atoms in a cell. An atom is made of 3 subatomic particles. One is a fundamental particle, the electron. The other 2 break down into 3 fundamental particles, the quarks. So to calculate all those interactions, to research how those interactions happen and what the formulas would be, also calculating the environment, Okay, um, so you can see that we're talking about a lot of calculations. Okay, this is an extensive formula with a lot of variables. Um, but logically speaking, if we did want to be able to predict things and be immortal, like see if it's possible, see how to do it, it would require certainty. It would require mathematics. So that's what we're looking at. So the routes to study those things, okay, you get to cell and molecular biology, biochemistry, I think biophysics, um, okay, computational biology. But just to give you an idea of the thought process and like the way that things would have to happen for immortality, or you know, um, life extension, stuff like that. That's what we're looking at, is physics, breaking things down to more uh, fundamental parts, finding interactions, okay, uh, like how do we maintain homeostasis, like staying alive. Um, so yeah, when you're talking about interactions, okay, you go down to the fundamental physics. Physics is the baseline. So the fundamental physics, figure that out to a deterministic degree. Okay, the randomness is not going to be helpful. I mean, how are you going to have certainty in your survival with this random stuff going on? So figuring out the fundamental physics, the interactions, okay, how it leads to the chemistry and the biology, just like working through it like that, seeing if you can create shortcuts, so like group calculations together, be able to take an interaction, like do you understand what I'm saying? So like say you have let's see, so say you have this here. So if you saw that, it's addition of different numbers, one, like I don't know, maybe like 10 different numbers or something. So it comes out to an answer. So instead of having to put in the whole written out addition formula or equation, you can just use the answer. You know what I'm saying? So like if you find a pattern, or like, you could just like, I think you should, okay. But if we could group things together like that, we can save computing space and time and stuff like that. I'm not really sure if that would work or how that would work, but just trying to figure something out. So anyways, that's just an idea of how to extend the lifespan, do the medical research, stuff like that. You break the body down into fundamental parts, find the formulas, the interactions. Okay, I understand it's a lot. See where you can make differences. We're obviously trying to be immortal, but we'll see if we can extend the lifespan. So so that's about it. We need to be realistic. We need to be wise. Okay.